Um, this is my testimony. I've always said my channel was created for personal reasons. I am isolated in Quebec, and after going homeless from British Columbia, Canada, at 60 years of age. And today I'm dying of diagnosed heart failure, and I have pneumonia, and I'm recovering from a broken back in 3 places. My number 5 and number 6 vertebrae broke, as well as my tailbone. I have been bedridden for 2 years or more. And today I feel my organs are all failing. First of all, my brain probably, because I can't see evil. And so I just can't until I feel it. And in my own apartment, I feel extremely unsafe and targeted by my Haitian-born black, dark, whatever, he is black in the soul. I never care about the exterior of people because I can't see evil until I feel it. And in this apartment I have lived in and appreciated and valued and felt so comfortable. I created a really beautiful little place for myself because my child, my son, died in 2003. And my family don't believe in grief. They don't really have feelings. But that's the part of the story. So why I needed a channel to express not only my personal journey, but my dreams, my visions, and my spiritual experiences, which are very real. You know, if they're not to you, they are to me. And every word I say in my video is to me. Like, I'm not trying to lie to me. I am trying to tell the truth to me. Because, you know, guys, I wrote a book called Evil Eyes, a daughter's memoir. And I read it recently. It was published in 2011. And after I sent my granddaughter's molester to prison, it was published. And I lose my short-term memory with what I'm talking about. Please hang up on me then, because I'm only talking to myself anyway. Anyway, he's black and I'm white, but he was born in Haiti. He wasn't born here. And I don't know why he would want to hurt me, because, they went and bombed his country to smithereens. And then they took the kids here or there, or I don't know where, but what the heck? I always felt sorry for him because of, what happened to his country. I'm not a racist, and I've never been accused of it. But today I have to say that I'm shocked at how dark people can go. He is a bad faith landlord who uses the neighbors and others, like the neighbor guy next door there. He's a weirdo and won't talk to me, but will show up as a witness for my landlord. And I can't fight against this kind of system where, they can bring in people and entities from evil places and get away with what they are getting away with, targeting individuals. It's like they're robot machines, and they're just focused on what they're told to do in creating chaos. They paid to create chaos. And they're like a military themselves. They're very lonely old men with no women around them. Of course, they're just really pathetic, lonely old men. That guy up there lives alone. He's got all his satellite and cameras pointed right over here. And then the guy next door, my neighbor here, who lives in the apartment, he's got nobody. He's got a sister, I think, drops by every now and then, and I don't know. But they're very, very weird. And it's taken me almost I don't know, this is my 8th year here in my lease. I've paid my rent early. The records will prove it, okay? For all of those years. I only started paying on the 1st to try and stop my landlord from being an asshole I said, well, then I'm not paying rent early anymore. And I pay on the 1st. But I always pay my rent. But in August of this year, in my heart failure condition, I had bad constipation. And I didn't put the paper in the toilet because of, I was afraid to plug it because it kept getting plugged. And then I told the landlord about a year ago that the toilet didn't have water pressure. And he came to fix it, but couldn't fix it himself because he is not a construction or handy person. He hires people like a handyman, and the handyman couldn't fix it. And then they got a new toilet after I said, you have to get me a new toilet. And they did finally. But in August, with my health condition I don't know what happened. I don't know. But I could no longer use my toilet. And I had to leave the house because the landlord would not help me. And so I got one of those little cubicles in the wall at the local hostel where you have lots of stairs and you live in a little capsule thing. It's for young people, hostels, traveling. But it was all I could afford, and I couldn't stay in my apartment. Finally, he came and fixed it, and I came back. But when I came back, I don't know, I can't remember what happened. He did something to me or something. Or I don't know what happened. And I had to go back to the hostel for another. I couldn't stay here. I just knew that. I was too afraid to stay here. And I went back to the hostel. And then I just gave up and came back here. But I deducted 300 and something from my rent to pay for the booking.com at the hostel. And I can't remember what I was saying. I feel my kidneys are failing. My kidneys really hurt today. My brain hurts today. And my heart and lungs are full of fluid. And I think I'm going to die. And I have nobody here with me. So that's why I just wanted to put it on my channel, not to encourage any kind of pity, because I do live within the divine light. My friends who see this, if I have friends, I don't. Anthony is my friend. Anthony from Wales in the UK is the known friend I have. And so he sent me a card with seeds in it, and he sent me a letter in writing, and he's just made me feel so special. He has no idea how his kindness has affected my heart in such a beautiful way. Thank you, Anthony. So anyway, there are people who care and can express themselves, and I have to tell you, if you have a heart of gold and you can express yourself, then you are an angel. You are. And in my eyes, I know I can't see evil, but I feel angels sometimes too. And I want you to know there are people in my heart here and in British Columbia who affected me in such a positive way, emotionally, by just a word or just a look in their eye of their knowing, and I know they know, and we may not be able to talk, but I know there are people in my realm who love me. It's just too difficult to stand with me, because I'm too weird. I've been weird my whole life. And it's because of abuse or not being able or feeling like I fit in because I'm told I don't. I'm wrong every day, all day. I'm wrong. And my own reality is gaslit. Like I can't say anything because I'm wrong. I'm wrong. No matter what I'm talking to or I'll offend, and I do offend everybody apparently. It's I'm just so sorry I do. But, I feel like I may be a bit of a mirror because I've read that when you judge other people and you're so wrong that you're actually looking at a direct mirror, that you actually are talking to yourself when you accuse somebody of something and you don't know them. You just see them and judge them, and you hold them in contempt. And sometimes it's just with your thoughts that you hold them with contempt, but those thoughts are felt. And sometimes it's with outright contempt and targeting. They go out of their way to harm you. If they judge you, if they're really bad, they'll be afraid of you. People that are afraid of me are really afraid of themselves. And I guess they should be. I don't know. Anyway, it's funny that today is also, it's December 1, Dece 1, and it's the anniversary of the marriage I entered into by a sodomite pedophile who targeted me for my 4-year-old boy. He didn't marry me for me. I was married to him for 25 years legally and known him for all these, since he was 21, I was 23. And he couldn't relate to women. He was a virgin. But here I was, willing to go along with them because he was so kind to me and my son. He went out of his way to help me and my son. And that kind of thing, what he wanted, was not in my radar. I would never suspect. I didn't have that kind of a brain. I knew women and girls were, I was always molested, but I didn't think boys were, really. I felt my son was safe. And when he died and the dreams started and the visions came, and I saw with my own eyes. And I know a lot of people do not believe in the spirit world, but they came to me. They came to me in 2016. And they told me all of my intuition about my husband who targeted me was real, that I could trust myself, and I should trust myself above all others. You know, that's what the spirits told me, and I don't care if anybody calls that crazy. I think people who think we are just machines here for one life, and then it's up to some other entity what happens. I just can't help that kind of stunted thinking. I know where it came from because I was raised here too. But, I don't know how to help people out of that kind of a hypnotic brainwash. And at the end, I think we're all responsible for our own conscience, and that it's up to us to not have a hardened heart, and that everything works out on time when you're in the divine light.